I'm in a groove state of mind. I'm moving all the time. No excuses and no blame. I'm stepping up my game. I'm a groove student, yes I am. With groove I know I can. Read my master plan. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. Groove Nation inspires me to bust loose and break free. I'm dancing to my dreams, bursting at the seams. I'm feeling groove-alicious. Who knows who I am? 'Cause now is my time to have a groove state of mind. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving.
Hello, Groove. David Lemon here. Welcome back, guys, to our usual live sessions. For those that are new here, my name is David Lemon. I'm the Product Experience Manager, and usually on Wednesdays at this time, we are doing a Q&A. So this is the regular time. I am now just posting a new link in the Facebook community because we had to re-add our Facebook group for this streaming platform we're using. So the previous Facebook live link isn't going to work. So here is the new link for the live session. All right. Just to inform everybody about the change. All right, perfect. So if you are watching on Facebook, please let me know. Please give me a comment just so that we know that everybody that wants to be here is here. Because of this change, when I scheduled the live stream, our Facebook group was connected to my account to stream on, and now we had to change it, so it's now on Simon Leong's account. So all right, yeah, so Rob is here. I can see him on Facebook, so that's good. Cool. Hello, everybody, one more time. We have very exciting news. You probably saw GroovePages 2.0 is out. Many chatter in the Facebook community. A lot of people that have already communities around Groove, they posted trainings and videos and things like that. We didn't yet, because once we released it, we did almost every day a couple of different tweaks, changes, and things like that. I'm going to talk about that today, but there's still many more to do, and I want to talk about that today as well. So what we are going to do is I'm going to give you a brief overview of everything that went live. We're going to go and see what's new, how to use it, where to use it, and things like that. And then I'm going to go over your questions and concerns and ideas that you posted inside the Facebook group. And believe me, there is a lot. If you have seen the post inside the Facebook community so far, there is 169 comments on there, but there were many more in other groups as well. So I kind of collected all of these, all of your feedback, and we're going to go through those one by one and basically I'm going to give you my answers. Today is not a Q&A day, so I'm not going to be answering questions about Groove Video or Groove Member or anything else. This is purely GroovePages 2.0 and everything around it. So in case you're having questions about something else, please ask them in the Facebook community or go to support, because today we are focusing on GroovePages 2.0. This is something that everybody needs to know how to use. This is something that everybody will want to know, and this is purely a session for that one. If it takes 3 hours, we'll go 3 hours. If it takes 4 hours, it will go 4 hours. I want to answer as much questions as I can, as many questions as I can. But before you start asking your questions, please let me go through my planned structure. I'm going to very quickly show my screen and show you what we're going to talk about. So let me just see in here. All right, so this is just a list of things that I'm going to show you today during the demo, just an overview. I'm going to show you the different options that we added, some new features, some things were moved somewhere else. So this is now the demo, and then there are the issues that you guys reported. I'm going to go through each and every one of these and talk about. So please, before asking questions, just wait through this one, because I do not want to stop once I start to kind of look into the comments and then go and answer questions, because we will answer all of them. If you have played with GroovePages 2.0, you most probably found some of the issues that I'm going to be talking about today, and if you have any questions, you most probably will get an answer before even you asked it. So that's the plan for today, and I'm pretty confident that everybody is here that wants to see this, so I believe we're good to go. So as you know, GroovePages has been released. It started as a product from a developer that also became a co-founder. It was called PageStead. Now, when this PageStead was developed, this was kind of a product that we took and improved upon. And a lot of different functionalities from this PageStead were added, and a lot of functionalities were built on top of this PageStead. So we decided that we want to kind of rewrite the code. Our developers took this PageStead code and rewrote it, and then this created GroovePages version 1. On GroovePages version 1, even though it was kind of still based on this platform called PageStead, we built on top of that one. We kind of changed the structure, changed some things around, but it was okay, but not as good as we wanted it to have. In terms of the UI, we wanted to do things differently. In terms of the code, in terms of the building, it was a bit kind of glitchy, and all of that is now kind of the thing of a past. We are still working on building out a more fluent and a more fluid version of GroovePages. But what we created with version 2 of GroovePages, this is going to allow us to kind of build like a completely different platform than what we had before. It's basically the structure of the whole builder has been changed. We did with the developers more than 500 tasks, which involved a lot of testing, a lot of tweaks, a lot of improvements and bug fixes, more than 500 of tasks in order to create what we have today with GroovePages 2.0. I'm just going to open a site and I'm going to show you that not a lot has changed if you are not familiar with GroovePages, but if you stay with me, I'm going to show you that a lot of things have changed, and not even changed. We tweak some things, improve some things. Some people would say that we broke it because they just learned it and they got used to it. But I'm going to show you that it's much simpler to work with it, much faster to work with it, and it's going to be only easier from now on, because this whole backend code that you guys do not see, it has been changed also for GroovePages 2.2. So yeah, I'm going to start from beginning. If you are in the Groove dashboard, we are going to go into GroovePages and then we'll start from scratch. First, we are going to do just an overview of the template library, and I'm going to show you some of the things that we did there. So immediately, even on this screen, you can see that we have now a huge search sites bar on the top, which was previously not this way. This is kind of a new layout, a new UI that we added. But the main difference that you're going to see is when you click the new site option here. This is our new template library, which opens up by default on a complete site. This is for those people that want to create a website. You do not need to start with a website. You can also start with a single page. Then you can just import single pages from here. Or you want to start with funnels. You want your funnel to be on the root domain, for example. For this new project that you're creating, then you can go here. Starting with single pages, once you click on the template that you want, you can, for example, let's just select this one. You can see a preview of this single page template. You will see the tags if there are any, and we are going to be adding in more tags. We are actually restructuring the categories and the tags for the templates. And another thing that will come over here is a larger preview, something like what we have in GrooveMail. Let me just open up GrooveMail and show you. Inside the template library for GrooveMail templates, I'm going to very quickly show you just so that you are aware there's no questions. So something like this. So even though you do not know where the template ends, you can see much more of the template than what we have currently here. So something like this we will be able to incorporate in this template library as well. But we are also going to add a preview option, something like this, so that you can go through and see the whole template before deciding to go into it. All right, so this is something that will come here. We just started with this one, and then we are going to improve upon later on. If you decide to use this template, you can click the import a template. But if you want, you could also start a complete site. And then you can see immediately that the difference here is that it stacks on top of each other. This means that there are multiple pages here. In a single page template, there were no kind of stacks and there were no any description below. And this is what we created now. Once you click inside, you can see the different pages that it comes with. So portfolio, services, contact, and things like that. So if you want, you can decide to go with all of these pages, and then you click the full import full template. On top of this, if you already decided to create a website with a template, and then you want to add inside your site, you could also go and add templates from here. It will open the same template library. But when you're opening a funnels, like you want to create funnels, you will get another extra functionality here, which will allow you to choose specific pages and then only import those that you want. So this is not possible when you're creating a full site from scratch, but when you already created a site, then you can add in specific page templates. All right. This functionality is something that we will also add when you're starting your site at a later stage. This kind of checkbox, and then only import those and start a site with only those pages. But currently, this is how it works. All right, let's move back to the templates in here. You can see that we have separated them in different types: single pages, complete sites, funnels, webinars, pop-ups, and my templates. So these are kind of the designed templates. And then you can have your saved templates previewed over here as well. So everything that you saved previously, any kind of page that you saved or a pop-up that you saved will show up here. We also have different filtering options for different campaign types, and also tags. We are actually redoing these campaign types and tags, so it makes more sense. And then we are going to go through all of the templates and re-tag them and put them in the category so that they are very easy to find. I want to mention something extra here, that when you're previewing single pages, right, it does not show up. Let me see, complete sites. All right. So when you're previewing the single pages here, currently we do not show a search bar, but in the other ones we do show a search bar. This is something that we will also improve and add a search bar in the places where we do not have them yet. That's still to come. So again, I'm answering questions that you may have in the future. You may have seen that one, but I just wanted to mention that the search will come to these to here as well. All right. So this is basically the new template library. If you're starting from scratch, you click here. Wherever you are, you have a blank template option wherever you are, and then you'll be able to start with a single page or a complete site. We have the filtering on here, but we also have a sorting options. If you want to see the newest templates first, then we are going to show the newest templates first, and we will add on more sorting options like the highest converting and the recommended by the Groove team, or maybe Mike Filsame's favorites and things like that. We'll be able to add on more of these sorting options in the future. All right, good. So let's just go into a site, and I'm going to do an overview of the builder. So now we mentioned the search, sorting and filtering, importing full templates or just specific templates. I mentioned that one. So the first part of this demo is kind of done. Let's move on to the overview of the builder: elements, global blocks, assets, settings, and canvas changes. All right, so as I mentioned, when you log in, if you are familiar with GroovePages, you will see what the changes are. But if you are not super used to working in GroovePages, then I'm going to explain what you need to know. So here on the top, you can see that the actual name of the website, and this is you can start typing in and rename your website. Like for example, GroovePages 2.0 demo. And then you basically just click out of it, and then you now renamed your site. So this is point and click, so you can type in here. Over here, we now show the page name. Previously, we had a drop down on the top here, which you could kind of select different pages. I think that this was a good decision. We removed this because it was obsolete. If you had a lot of pages, you had to scroll down constantly, but the pages and more options are available from this assets tab in here. I'm going to come to that. But now we just mention what page you are editing, so there's no confusion. You can see the site name over here on the top, and now we show the page name here. All right. This hasn't changed. There's on the top the menu to move into other apps. There's a toggle for applying responsiveness for this device, for all devices, or this device only. We are going to add some extra functionality in this one later on as well. Nothing changed on this part except the publish. So now you can see that the publish was kind of merged together. If you want to manage your domains, you click in here. You can manage the subdomain, manage your custom domain. But if you want to kind of publish it, then you can choose a custom domain or the subdomain in here. So this is the hosting option. This is currently here, but in the next iterations, the next releases, we are going to be moving this in the site settings, because you really do not need to put in hosting options each and every time you decide to publish. Maybe it's going to be once when you publish it on a GroovePages subdomain, but next time you publish it on a custom domain and you don't touch it anymore. So having it here is just not necessary. So this is necessary, and we are going to be putting this out a little bit nicer so that there is no mistake. I very frequently click on a button that I didn't want to click, so we are just going to put this to be seen a little bit nicer. So this is a little change on here, but everything else stayed the same. Let's move on to the left-hand sidebar. You can see that we have elements, blocks, assets, and settings in here. Previously, we had many more options, and the whole bar was until the end of the page in here. Now we just reduced everything into 4 little buttons. Elements, once you click it, you can now see the element library a little bit more visually, because now we separated the categories over here, but we still give you the option to search or basically find the elements through this drop down or the scrollable library for the all elements. We will be adding in a search bar very soon here, so that if you just kind of come in to elements, you will be on all elements, but the search will be kind of on by default. So if you just click elements, start typing, you will be able to find the elements in there. But for now, you can now go and scroll through different elements in here, like for example, buttons, and then you will see the different button categories. And then we also offer you pre-designed buttons. This is something that we added in the GroovePages 2.0. We didn't have the option to do this. But now we offer you a bunch of different pre-designed buttons, so you do not have to start from scratch each and every time. You can just go click on a button, drag it out on the canvas, and then you're good to go. So As you can see, there is a lot. We're going to change some things around because you click buttons. These do not look the best, in my opinion. We will want to show something like this, so they are, you know that these are buttons, like without the borders on the top. We'll just put in the full colored ones to the top of this section. So yeah, if you do not want design buttons, you can start with just a regular button element or a text link element, and then style it yourself as you want. Countdown timers, we also designed new countdown timers for you. Pretty much we had just a basic element that you had to style each and every element separately. So the numbers separately, the text separately, the background separately, the sizes separately, things like that. So we kind of made it faster when selecting a countdown timer. You now click and drag it out, and then you're good to go. We created a bunch of them so that you should be covered whatever your design is. You can just drag them out and just modify them real quick. No need to start from scratch every time you want to add a countdown timer. Devices, e-commerce, this is going to be removed. We're going to be merging this with the Groove apps, and then Groove apps is going to be coming to the top, so that when you're doing anything with Groove, there will be many more elements coming in the future, but then the Groove apps will be always found towards the top. Layout, this is for the columns, dividers, and things like that. List, media, navigation, tabs, text, and some other stuff. This tabs element is a new thing that I'm going to talk about in the next couple of minutes, but this has been also added in here as a separate category. So yeah, the working with the elements is basically the same. The elements are still drag and drop. Now, once we released GroovePages 2.0, there was an issue where you drag out something on the canvas, but you cannot put it to this place over here behind this section. For example, I want to put this, for example, a text on the first part here, next to the healthy. There is this section here, healthy, and I want to put something in here, maybe above this leaf. Now, this was not possible, but what we did is once you click and drag an element out, now we close temporarily the actual elements library, so then you can drag it out and we bring it back in case you want to add more elements. If you just click out, then you're going to see the elements that you dragged out. So this was posted as a feedback. We already did this change, so there is no need to kind of get funky over that. So I'm going to mention all of the changes there. Yeah, so this is how it works. The elements are still drag and drop, but the biggest change is with blocks. When you click on here, the blocks, we really just added global blocks. This is a huge new change that we did. This functionality was worked on for a couple of months, only this one. It took us a long time to kind of create it and make it work with all sorts of different elements and all sorts of different things that you can add on, but now we have it. But people were saying, like, where are the blocks? Like, I had many saved blocks and I just don't know where they are anymore. This is how we separated the global blocks that you can go back easily and manage and then set up again and again just by clicking on here. But the regular design blocks, we hidden into these plus buttons. Not hidden, but we added it to a place where you really want to use them. You guys were reporting a lot of issues when dragging and dropping blocks. Like, for example, you want to drag a block, but maybe to the bottom of the page. Like, you would drag it out and then hold it and then wait for it to slowly scroll down. Now, this dragging and dropping was very, very resource intensive. So our whole platform slowed down and it was not the best. It was pretty choppy. It didn't work as we wanted it to. So what we decided that once you click on a block, you can put a block above or below, and there's no question where it's going to go. Like, you know where it's going to go. It's going to go below. So it's going to go above this lower one and then below this upper one. So it's going to go in the middle, exactly where you pasted it. So this is where the blocks are. I'm going to just go over this one as well. This is a new blocks library that we created, very similar to the template library, but this is specifically for the blocks. By default, we open the designer blocks, and then we show you some of these saved blocks in here. Direct response blocks are still here with their categories on here. Wireframes are here, so you can go into the other different categories for the wireframe blocks. Pop-ups are here, mega menus are here, and your saved blocks are also here inside different categories that you added. All right. So one more time, designer blocks, we show a number. We also have another category here where we show how many of blocks we have, and this is going to be growing. We are going to be saving a lot of our templates into blocks so that you guys have more options in there. Call to action, checkout forms, contact us, all of the other ones are here. And we didn't delete anything. I've seen a lot of questions and comments like, oh my God, all my saved blocks are gone. They're not gone. They are just put here and they're saved inside different categories. So please check them here. Once you save a block, once you click here and you save a block, there will be a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes time that needs to happen in order for the screenshot to appear. So let's just say I want to put this in designer content. Yeah, let's just do this. Create a block. Now my block is created, and if I go to edit, the actual save blocks will show up here, but in certain cases they will need a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes to generate the actual screenshot. This is something that we are going to be improving. As you saw when I clicked it first, it was not here, but then when I came back, it was there. We may show kind of a loader or a card that is kind of grayish or something like that until the actual block doesn't show up. But once you save something, it's going to show in a couple of seconds or minutes, depending on the connection. So yes, let's just move back and see. So elements and saving of the elements. Yes, so we have added a new feature along with these buttons that I showed you. We have added a feature where you can create your own elements. For example, this button. This is a square button with a specific font, with a specific border, with specific everything. Now you can save these buttons, save these elements yourself. So you can give it a name like olive button, and you can create it a new section, or you can put it in just in the buttons so that you can find it there. Once you create this element, you'll be able to reuse it again and again from the buttons. We now created a new category here for you. These are the designed ones from our designers, but once you save something, it's going to open immediately on this one so that you can go and reuse them, for example, here, and it's going to just immediately pop it in the canvas. So this is saving of the elements. If you want, you can save anything. Like you could save this whole like for example this container, you can save this button, you can save this text, you can save, okay, the text you cannot, but any other element you basically can save, along with containers, which is pretty cool. So you, for example, if you like this layout, you can just click somewhere in between to select it, and then you can save it, create a new section for this one, like a recipe, elements, and things like that, and then you can save that into the elements tab. So yeah, that's this one. So I mentioned the blocks, and what we did with blocks, we basically put them in here. If you want to move blocks, it's still there. Like you can move them up, you can move them down. This was the functionality we added previously. Again, we want to try and minimize the dragging and dropping on canvas, because that is something that that could cause glitchiness, and if something breaks, it's just going to be all over the place. So we do not want we want to minimize as much as we can the dragging and dropping on the canvas. Elements are still okay because of course we want to move them. And another thing with moving elements, now we added this click and drag option. All right, so you can now click and drag text, you can click and drag buttons, you can click and drag everything else. When you click and drag, now we have a small pink line on here that's going to change a little bit, but we now have this click and drag. Previously, you had to click on it and then wait for this element toolbar, and then move it through the drag icon, the drag handle. We are going to be putting back the drag handle because we found that in certain cases, some of the elements, some of the containers cannot be moved. Like, for example, I want to move this container. I'm looking here at the breadcrumbs at the bottom. I want to move this container and not this container, or not the element specifically. So in these cases, we aren't able to kind of select the specific container and drag it out and drag it up and drag it down, because it just doesn't allow us for that kind of specific functionality. So you cannot specifically select the container that you want, and because of this, we are going to be adding in the drag handles, but we are going to still leave this dragging option in there, because it just makes the workflow much faster. Like, you do not have to click on each and every element and then wait for it to load and then move it. It's just basically you can start moving things around like this. I saw also some of your feedback was that when you're dragging and dropping, this pink line is pretty thin, and it's hard to kind of see it in certain cases. So we will be making it larger, and we're making this drop here, basically the drop area, larger as well, so that you do not have to be super specific with your with the point of your cursor. You're going to be kind of more generalized in where to drop it, so that is going to be much smoother for you guys. All right, so this is basically for the elements. Let's just move back to the blocks. We now have explained everything about on canvas adding of the blocks, but I want to also mention this functionality for global blocks. The global blocks is something where you can create one section or one, yeah, basically let's call it one section, and then save it and then add it on multiple different pages. And then if you need to change it, for example, you add your contact information or a navigation or a footer or something that could change frequently. If you save that as a global block, you can just come back here, change it on this one place, and it will automatically change it in every page that you added this block into. This was one of the most requested functionalities from you guys, and we also wanted this functionality, and now we have it. So let me just show you how it works. So you click on the plus button to create a global block. Immediately we open up a canvas for creating a global block over here. You start adding the blocks, or you start with designs. Let's just say that I want to put in some bright section. Let's just select this one. And let's just say that I want to make, I don't know, this text bigger like this. And I'm good with this one. So this is now my global block. Let's just say that I have changed all of the things that I wanted. Let's just maybe change the background. This is a pretty strong pink. All right, so I have now changed my global block, and I save and exit. All right, I have this global block saved inside the global blocks library, which is this one on the top. The preview will be generated. In the meantime, you can see all of these options: edit, rename, move, clone, duplicate, and delete. Once you click the edit, that means that you go into the editor and start editing it. I just want to rename it for now. This is going to be the red global block. Okay. So now what I could do is I could edit to the canvas. How do I edit to the canvas? I can edit to the canvas by using this plus button. Of course, this is how we add blocks on the canvas. And now we can see that we have a new category over here, which says global blocks. We didn't have that before because I didn't have any global blocks in my website. If I select this category, I can see my global block here. And if I just select it, it's going to add it to the canvas. Well, it seems that it didn't save the text font, so we can go back and change it. But once you click on the global block, you can see that you cannot start typing. Like I'm trying to write something, but I'm clicking on this image and it doesn't show me the style editor. That's because global blocks are not edited on canvas. They are edited inside the global block editor. this means that whenever you are doing something on your site and you by mistake, I don't know, you drag something on this, nothing will happen because the global blocks are kind of in a secured environment. You can edit them only inside the global blocks editor. So let's just save this page. This is our home page. I'm going to be adding this global block also to the, I don't know, reservation page. So maybe add it above this section. So I'm going to click on the block, click on the plus button, and then selecting the global blocks section and adding it on canvas. All right, so it loaded the correct font in here for some reason. All right, again, I cannot edit it, I cannot touch it, I just basically save. So now what I did is I have the global block on 2 pages, and if I want to do any change, I can just go back to this red global block. I can click the edit button, and then I could start editing it. So now I am in this environment where when I click, I can edit the global block. So let's just say that I want to move the image to the bottom, and I want to change the font of this one to this, and maybe make it black. All right. If I save and exit, all of these global blocks that I put them on the home page and on the reservation page should be changed as well. So in certain cases, you may need to just refresh. So I can see that the positioning has been changed, but the black text didn't change for some reason. I'll definitely double check this one with the theme. Let's just save and then save and exit. All right. So this is saved. Let's just refresh just to make sure that we see the freshest version. Yeah, for some reason the text styling didn't change. I'm going to check this why this is happening, but the positioning has changed, as you can see. Let's just visit the reservations page and see if that's the case. Yeah, so the text didn't change for some reason. I'm going to just yeah, so we'll double check this one, but basically this is how it works. Whatever you are on, whatever page you are, you can just select this block, the global block, and click on here as well, edit global block, and then this is going to bring you back to the editor. And once you are ready with everything, you exit, and then it's going to be bringing you back to the home page so that you can start from here, and then you can go on to the other pages. All right, so this is the global blocks section. We are going to check why some of the styling is not getting applied. There should be a fix within a day or two on that one. But let's move on to the next section here, which is assets. All right, so the assets are here, and then the assets of your site is basically the website pages, the funnels and the funnel pages, webinars, and the pop-ups. So this is what we kind of created. It was a specific button inside this left-hand side menu in the previous version. Now we kind of merged them all together, because when you go into assets, you just basically are looking for pages or a pop-up. So now it's just kind of put together. The layout is still the same. If you want to hide a page from the navigation, you just drag it over here. If you don't want it, then you bring it back. If you want to indent it, like kind of make a drop-down menu, you can do that one. So nothing much changed in here. We just kind of changed the layout. But one of the things that we did is this basically new layout, selecting of the templates. And also we have changed this menu in here. Previously we had a settings. That was one of the first options to kind of go in and change the URL and change the favicons and change the open graph settings and things like that. But now we have moved that on a better place in my case. One thing that Mike asked for specifically, to put the settings back in here as well, which we will do. But in my personal opinion, whenever you're editing, for example, a page, it's good to kind of access the settings with one click. And this is what we did with the next button over here, which is the settings. If you click the settings, it immediately opens the page settings. So whatever page you're editing, for example, the menu page, If you want to see the settings and maybe change the URL of that page, you just click this gear icon for the settings, and then you can immediately start typing the page name, page URL. You can change the tracking codes, redirection, and things like that very quickly from here. So this was kind of the biggest change that we did for this assets library for all of the pages. But due to the request from you guys and from the founders, also we are going to be bringing that back. We're going to be bringing the settings button here back for you guys. Everything here stayed the same. We didn't touch anything else. So moving, cloning, duplicating, deleting, hiding from navigation, editing a menu and mega menu and things like that is still in here. So let's move to the settings, and we can talk about the settings a little bit more because there were many changes in here. So we added a note here that you can immediately read, that the page settings that open up will only apply to the currently active page. So you cannot edit settings for a page that you are not on. So whenever you are using this gear icon and you just click it, it's going to be editing the settings for this page that you are on. And this current page is the menu page. So as you can see, you can change the URL. One of the things that we added is an option to add a favicon that is different from the site favicon. In certain cases, you want to kind of do a promotion for a page for your promotion, or a page for contact, or a page for pricing, and you may want to kind of spice it up. For those of you that may not know, a favicon is here, this little icon in the top of the browser that shows up. In certain cases, it will also show up as a selectable icon if you're using a mobile phone and things like that. So it's pretty handy, and it's helping people brand their pages a little bit better. So yeah, the favicon can now be applied to each and every page separately, but you can also apply them to a site so that all of the pages will be covered. So yeah, not much has changed in this one. The SEO has changed a lot. So this is a new tab that we added. This is where we offer page indexing. Page indexing, that means that it will be found by search engines. Do you want to find this page in Google or not? In certain cases, you do not want that. For example, if you want to kind of hide your upsell page or downsell page or a special promotional page, you may not want to show this in Google, for example. So you can disable page indexing, which means that and the search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, and the other ones will not find it. If you want to kind of apply this setting, make sure you click the check mark and then publish the page. That's the thing that you need to do with basically any setting that you do. Check mark and then publish. Metadata, this is for search engines, what the users, when they search for something like a specific keyword, how will they see your page? They will see the page title, meta keywords, meta description. Another thing that we are going to be doing, and this is going to be for everywhere where you see a box like this, we're going to allow you to kind of resize the box. This is on our to-do list. You're going to be able to kind of resize the box. Same for tracking code section and for CSS and things like that. We're going to add in a little feature to kind of resize the boxes. But one of the major things that we added is Dublin Core metadata. That means that you can now manage all of the meta tags that are relevant for SEO inside this meta tags editor. Basically, you can put in different keywords, the description of the page, who is the author of the site post page, or the contributor, when was the page created, when was it modified last time. All the things that you find in Google. For example, if you search for an article, what is the best page builder, you will see blog posts, and they will say this was updated, this was edited, this was posted, and things like that. So all of this information is important for search engines, and this is why we now allow you to kind of edit it and stay on top of things. What type of content is it? Is it text? What format is it? Text, HTML, identifier. This is your web page's URL, source, website URL, language tags. This is, for example, if your website is in German, for example, and you will put here DE and then German or Deutsch. So basically you can tell search engines this website, this page is in this language. Area or country of coverage, you can put here the countries that you want, and if you want you can put here some copyright text. This is important for the search engine so they know that your website is kind of covered with the copyrights. Yeah, so these are the meta tags that are going to be added into the code of the website once you edited them, and then once search engines find it, they will see all of this information and they will understand your website much better than before. This functionality is frequently not available in any other cloud page builder. In certain cases you can get this information added in WordPress plugins, but in platforms like ClickFunnels and Lead Pages, this type of advanced SEO data is not available. You cannot put these types of things there. All right. Currently, I think some of you guys reported that this metadata is not showing up in the code, and we're checking that one. It was working when we were on the test server, so we are looking into why it is not showing up in every case currently in the live version. So that's going to be changed with the next days. Open Graph settings, this is for social media, Facebook and things like that. They will see the share image and the share title. And then here is a new cool thing, which is kind of share worthy. Everybody that announced or posted inside the Facebook group about the GroovePages 2.0 being out, share this image because it looks cool. It looks funky with this this health score. And this is basically just a representation of how good you did with optimization for on-page optimization for SEO. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, that means that on your page you nicely separated the content so that you have nice H1 tags, H2 tags. Image alt tags, this is, for example, when you have an image on the page, like for example, this is an image, this is an image, this is an image, your logo is an image, and for example anything like this is an image. So if you added an image element, this is not applying for the background image. All right, so the background image, when you go into a block and select here an image, you cannot put an alt tag for this one. It's not important for the search engines. But when you put in an image like this one, you should add an alt tag. Alt tags you can add by clicking the image and then clicking this configuration option, and then wherever you see image alt attributes, let's just say here donut. One of the things that we are also looking into is currently it does not recognize the image. So we're going to fix that. It's going to recognize the image, but we're going to just change the image in here. Let's just say walking. Right? And you can link it if you want, but this image alt attribute is going to be recognized by our system and also by search engines. So now if we move back to the SEO settings, you can see that we have 7 image tags without 7 images without the alt attributes. So again, only the image elements are counted towards this one. The background images are not. Logos and then all of the other images on the canvas. Moving on, let's just go back to this SEO score and then see what we have here. Total words, the number of words in your website. Total links, found 5 total links. In certain cases you're going to see please add an A tag or something like that. A tag is basically inside the code. Every link should have a value. Like for example, if you have a button, let's see if we have a button on here. We can add a button in here. And if our button is not set up with anything, it does not have an A tag. Like for example, it is not linked to anything. This means that we have elements, we have some links, we have something that is not linking anywhere. And this is what we are showing here in this in this SEO score, that we now have 5 links, but in certain cases we're missing this A tag, that basically we do not have it linked to anything. Unique links and duplicate links. This is just counting if you have unique links or duplicates. It's basically saying what it means. In certain cases, when you didn't do something, we will have, or we show you kind of a help or help section on here, help description on what you need to do in order to kind of get a 9 out of 9 score. In my personal opinion, do not try to be perfect and then only publish the pages. Just go with the flow. You have time. This is not make or break things. It's not going to mean that if you have 8 out of 9 that you're not going to rank. This is just not that strict. This is just a health score. It's just kind of help to see what you could improve. All right, moving back to the styling. Styling is basically the font, and in case you want to add some extra custom styling to your pages, you can add some custom CSS. And as I mentioned, we'll add in this drag option to resize the boxes. Tracking codes, we had this before, basically adding in extra code for the head or the body section of your website. Redirection is now in its own category, and exit prompt, in case you are having, for example, an upsell page, you can turn this on and it will trigger a browser prompt. You have unsaved changes. Are you sure you would like to exit, or something like that? Page backups. This is a change. We now have revisions and we move them to, and we call them page backups, that you can move back into in time if you did a mistake and you saved something that you didn't want to save, or you want to move back, like your client, for example, didn't like it and you want to kind of move back to the previous version. We're going to show the revisions for this particular page in the page backups. And if you want to save this page as a template, then you basically click this button on here. So that's the page settings. Site settings changed a little bit, but not much. We have the site information, name, and the favicon. The name, as I mentioned, can be changed from here as well. SEO settings. This is for the robots and sitemap. In case you do not want to publish robots and sitemap, then you can turn this off here. But make sure that you understand that once you disable that, the removing the Robots.txt file can affect your SEO, and that's basically for the whole site. All right. Open Graph. This is again when somebody shares the root domain of your website on social media, what they will see, what image and what title they will see. Styling for the whole site. Again, if you want to set up a font for the whole site, if you want to set up custom CSS, and the rest is basically the same. We didn't have any changes there. We'll have a completely new share site, share link functionality within the next couple of weeks. We have created a very kick-ass feature where you can share a site, the whole complete site with all of the pages, with all of the funnels, with all of the webinar funnels and everything. You want to share specific funnels, you want to share specific pages, you want to share specific the webinar funnels, and many more options that are going to be coming. But this is currently looking like this, but it's going to be changed very soon to something else. Exporting a site will give you HTML, files in basically a zip file, and then edit instead bookmarklet is basically help article on how you can enter and start editing your pages even if you do not have Groove opened. So this is kind of the menu overview real quick for those of you that may have not been introduced to Groove and their options. Some of the changes we just bundled together so it's more organized. I also wanted to mention the configurations. In certain cases, like for example, in images, we had configuration of the elements here in the upper right-hand side corner. We are going to be adding that back in there, but we also added a quick prompt in here. It's kind of a quick shortcut for editing something on Canvas so that you don't have to move over there and basically into other menus. We want to put everything that is important in front of you guys. So this is now what we did with the configuration. You can choose an image, you can put alt attributes, link to something, and then you are good to go. This configuration tab, we are going to be adding in a prompt where when you update something, it's going to say, okay, the element has been updated or something similar. And also the check mark will close this configuration. Currently it does not close it, it just kind of applies the changes. This is same for buttons, same for everything else that has configuration. We just moved it here. Countdown timers, videos, and things like that will have this configuration in here. So that's basically it that I can think of. Let me just move back and make sure that I have covered everything. So I managed the pages, well, funnels and webinars, and I just need to mention the pop-ups. So here inside the assets, we added the pop-ups in here. Adding in pop-ups is the same. When you click to add a pop-up, we're going to open the pop-ups library. You can select the pop-up from here, and let's just go with this one. Import this pop-up. You come to the pop-up builder here, where you basically click and can edit everything on the canvas like on your website, but this is just going to be working as a pop-up. Moving back here to the assets and pop-ups, you have the edit and the settings option, which we are going to be putting in two buttons here. There will be edit and then settings, so that you do not have to move into these three dots. Settings are just going to show up this one, on which pages you want to show the pop-ups, and which and what kind of pop-up this is, what the size of the close button is, and things like that. So the settings haven't changed a lot. It's just that we rearranged some of these menus. That's kind of it from this menu. Let me just see. In the settings, I mentioned the page settings, site settings, and the other ones like SEO and some of the new stuff like the favicons. I mentioned the canvas changes, how to add blocks. I mentioned the elements toolbar. Each and every element now have its own toolbar. You can manage in certain cases the text colors over here, like I want to add a red color to the text. You can manage the background color of the button, which is using this button. You select the colors, but you can also remove this and basically drag and drop the color picker wherever you want, so that you can see more. You maybe want to edit these hex codes, for example, or you want to work with a spectrum. You can do that and basically see more on the canvas with this functionality to move things around. Here we also have a movable option for the margins and the spacing. Like you can manage the spacing this way, or you can basically reset everything and then manage things this way. All right. And I would probably just use this one and then edit the spacing here, or basically just here. There we go. So every element will have its own toolbar. We have the spacing. As I explained, we have this new functionality for saving elements, duplicating, deleting, or selecting the parent element, which is the container, and then moving up in this breadcrumbs menu. I believe that is it for that one. Configuring elements, dragging and dropping, and then the blocks clipboard. This is a very cool functionality. For the blocks, we added also a clipboard, which means that we have a saving of the blocks, which saves the blocks, and then you can reuse them again and again and again, and on different sites and everywhere else in GroovePages. But in certain cases, you just want to, okay, I have this section now, I want to copy it to the clipboard and maybe move to a different page and just add this block very quickly. Like I do not want to use it many times. I just want to add it very quickly. And now I have a clipboard item, and then I add it from here. You see, so this is kind of a save of the block, but it's using the clipboard technology that once you refresh the page, is going to forget it. So it's kind of a temporarily saving a block so that you can reuse it within this site. And then once you exit out, it's not going to remember that one anymore. It's giving you more options to work faster. So that was our goal with it. I believe that was it for things that I wanted to show during the demo. So I'm just going to go back into full screen mode. Hopefully this gave you a nice overview on what was changed, what was not changed. As I mentioned, we did around 500 different tasks. So some things you saw, what I showed you right now, some things we still haven't released yet, but but from the structural perspective and from new technologies like the saving of the elements, the global blocks, favicons on pages, clipboard, like saving the blocks on clipboard, adding the blocks from a block library, new template library. This GroovePages 2.0 version has gotten a bunch of different changes, some of them that you cannot see even. So yeah, Dan is saying about the tabs. Yes, so the new tab element that I mentioned, which is here, the tab element is something that we are using ourselves in our own website. So if you go to groove.cm, and when it loads, you will see that each and every app has its own tab where we explain the different options, the different functionalities, the different features of each and every app. Like for example, this one. So GroovePages, it has design. This is one of the tabs. Then we have edit, then hosting, then SEO, templates, and then more. All right. So what you are seeing here, this is a container with the tab elements in here. So the tab elements are the tab container, the tab heads, and the tab content. So what you need here is basically the tab container, where you're going to be putting all of the things that are going to change once somebody selects a tab. All right. Then the tab content, and then the tab menu, or what we call it, heads. So this is going to look something like this. Let me just add a empty container in here. And then you're going to bring out a container, and then you drop some head tabs. All right, and we have the tab 1, tab 2, and then we also drag out tab content. So here, now we have created the basic structure of the tabs. So you can now start designing. Here at this moment, it says here, drop a block here to add content. And this is also shown when we are using a slider element. So the sliders are also working with blocks. As I mentioned, we disabled the ability to drag and drop blocks. So what the team is working on currently is to add this type of plus functionality, what we have on the blocks here. We are going to show this plus block inside the tab element, and also on the slider element. Currently, this is one of the major setbacks with this improvement of this plus button, that we do not have that yet, but within the next couple of days we will be able to add blocks into the slider and things like that. So that is how it's working, and once this is available, I'm going to do a full-on demo and explain how to create something like this one, because it is pretty cool that we have this ability. We just not disability, but this ability to create things like that. Big companies like ClickUp, and I've seen Facebook was using something like this as well previously. So this is pretty cool, and now everybody watching this will have this option. All right, cool. So now I have talked about the demo, and I'm going to go into the things that you guys reported and explain some things that I may have talked about already, but I just want everything to be on video as well. All right, so here, user issues and things to discuss. I went over this huge post and also some other posts from other Facebook groups and things like that. There is 169, most probably more, comments on here, and I went through each and every one of these and kind of marked what the issue was. I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that we already fixed and some of the stuff that is being worked on. So dragging and dropping elements on the canvas is hard because the elements menu is in the way. This was fixed, I mentioned earlier. When you go into an elements library, we just basically hide the elements menu while you are dropping in the elements so that you can see everything, because this was in the way. Now this one is fixed, so you do not have any more issues there. Adding blocks into slider and tab elements, this is actually I explained it, that this is being worked on right now, so I'm going to mark it with orange. Oops, not the text, but the actual highlight. This is now pending. Lost and saved designer blocks, designer clipboard blocks. This was reported in the posts here, that the screenshot was not generated yet, and this is why some people thought that their blocks were not there. Whenever we have saved and then the number next to it, or a clipboard and then a number next to it, this means that there is a block. It may be that just a screenshot is being generated within a couple of seconds or a minute or so. The screenshot will be generated and the actual block will show up. So this one was fixed as well. Yeah, so there was a discussion with this snap something went wrong issue with the page timeout. We have GroovePages, which is a big application, and it has a lot of on canvas things, dragging and dropping and things like that. It may be that this triggered Chrome to kind of use a lot of resources or whatnot. I do not know, but this was reported a lot of times when it was a resource heavy task or something like that, that there was just a Chrome page which says, oh snap, something went wrong. We have tested it, we have looked into the code, we have searched for everything why that could be. The only thing that we could think of is that it could be because of a Chrome extension or Chrome itself. Users here reported that Chrome did an update where it was apparently fixed. So hopefully this snap issue will not happen anymore. But yeah, we'll see. We have not found anything that could cause this one, so we'll just need to look into it. I'm going to mark this as purple because this is still unsure if this will happen or not. When will we be able to use Robots.txt and Sitemap manually? This is a functionality that may come in handy because in certain cases, you have, I don't know, a page that you created for a 404 page, or a page that you created for some privacy policy or some legal pages or something like that, and you do not want that one to show on Google, for example. So in those cases, you may want to kind of hide them from the sitemap or hide them from the robots and things like that. We do have the ability to disable the indexing, but disabling indexing will keep the page in sitemap, but it won't be indexed by search engines. So in certain cases, you do not want to show in the sitemap. And this is an extra functionality that I talked with the developers we can add. We will have two more options here. One is hide this page, or don't show this page in the Robots.txt, and don't show this page in the sitemap. So both of these options will be here added in the SEO indexing, maybe in the first and the second option, which will go together with this disable indexing, but it's going to be allowing you to disallow certain pages. Is going to be more powerful than this one, because at this moment this just does not show it to the search engines, but it will still show in the robots and the sitemap. For those people that understand SEO and that understand what this means, it's going to be pretty cool. So this is going to be coming, and I'm going to mark this as a green. This has not been started yet, but this was decided that it will be coming. Global blocks work only for one site. Can it be done so that they apply to more sites? This is something that I think we will probably not be focusing on right now. Whenever you are using a global block, you can just clone it to a different site and then start using it there. You just need to set it up. At this moment, there's no easy way for us to say, okay, there is a global block, and then show all global blocks that you have in your account. This would be pretty resource intensive, and we just do not want to kind of show all of the blocks, because then you would need to scroll down a long way. I believe the better option is to basically create one, clone it to a different site, set it up on the pages, and then you're good to go. That means that each site will have one global block and not one for all of the site. You will need to go and create the changes on sites, but I do not see this being used by a lot of our users. So at this moment, we are not going to focus on this one. We may edit in the future, but at this moment, this is how I would suggest you to work with it. If you have a block that you want to keep on other sites as well, just clone it over there, and then you'll be able to use that global block. All right, so I'm going to mark this as red, because we are not going to be focusing on that one at this moment. Drag handles are missing. Yes, we are actually working on that one. This is orange. Making the dragging area bigger. This is also something we are working on, which means that when you're dragging some of the elements, we will make it more snappy, more, for example, in certain cases you want to drag elements, and sometimes you need to juggle it so that they actually show up. For example, I want to now move an element here between the text, this text and this text, but because they are so close together, this dragging area is not allowing me every time to kind of snappily add that in there. You see, sometimes I have to juggle it, move out and in, and things like that. So we will make the dragging area a little bit taller and bigger so that it snaps into place much quicker. Dublin Core metadata isn't showing up on pages. This is something that we are also looking into. We saw you guys reported it, so we are going to check that one. The clipboard doesn't seem to be working. It was actually tied to the screenshots being generated, so now this was fixed, so it is all good. The navbar configuration doesn't work properly when you want to exclude sites. This was also looked into. So when you set up, when you are configuring your navigation and you wanted to exclude certain sites from, or certain pages from here, it wasn't excluding them, but now it's basically working. There was also a mention when you add an external link for a blog, for example. External link for a blog, and you link it to a blog, that it was not connecting. Now when you click it and then confirm the changes, it shows, and then it excluded the home page as I configured it. So that was fixed, and that is now working. The configuration model needs to show a confirmation message after update button was clicked. This is something that I just did. Like when I click update, I would like to see if the changes have been applied. It actually applies the changes and I can see them, but it is good to kind of have a confirmation. And also this check mark, when you click it, it should exit the actual this modal. This is also going to be coming. So I'm just going to mark it as orange. The color selector has a Z-index issue, and it gets cut off when it's open close to the border of the page. This is related to the issue where, for example, I select a piece of text. Oops, I select a piece of text here, and I want to color it. You see, in certain cases, the actual color picker gets cut off, and this is also going to be fixed. I'm going to mark this as orange as well. Duplicate, clone, and move to options don't work. This was also one of the reports in here. This was also fixed. So when you have a page and you want to duplicate it or clone it or move it, it was cloning the page, but it was staying blank. Now it is actually cloning the page without any issues. Actually, it cloned the page. It didn't put it full size. Husni, if you're watching, could you just please confirm if this is the correct way? It is giving me a much smaller area to work in. Not sure if this is related to something with a duplication or just the app. So we'll double check this one, but it is cloning the pages now. Let's see. If I resize and move back to that site or to that page, yeah, it's not duplicated. Let's try one more time. Contact copy, and it's now working properly. All right, this is something that we'll need to double check because it was cloning it but giving me a much narrower screen view. We'll double check why that was happening. All right, so there was a question from Gonzalo here real quick. What is the difference between duplication and cloning? Well, if you click the buttons, you'll understand very quickly. The duplicate is just creating a quick copy of the page immediately here below. The cloning means that you're cloning the page, but you can put it in this site or somewhere else. So in this site, that means you can put it in a funnel folder, a webinar folder, you can leave it in the primary navigation, but you can also move it to a different site into a funnel folder or a primary navigation. So it basically allows you to do many more things. Cloning and moving basically does the same thing, moving a page to this site or another site, and then it allows you to select the different pages and sites and wherever you want to add it. All right, let's move on. So this was we will double check this. I didn't like how it acted during this demo, so we'll double check this. Deleting pages isn't working anymore. This may be related to the change that we did previously when you were working in some sort of settings, and wherever you have this check mark, you previously, when you click the save button, we saved the page as well. Now we just apply the settings, but we do not save the page immediately. Now, I believe this was a report, and this is the issue where you delete the page. We need to save it, and now the actual page is saved. So I just wanted to mention that you have to save so that that it applies the changes that you did in the settings or in the assets here. So this is working. Adding more than one block to the global blocks works, but once a global block is added to the site, it shows only for the first block. Yes, so this we found as well. This is something we're looking into. Just to explain the issue that you guys reported, when you are editing a global block and you add in another extra block in here, all right, it's going to show only the first block on the pages. So this is something that that we'll double check. This was not doing this on the test servers, and you can see that in our demo on the Groovathon. So we need to just double check why that is happening on the live site. So as you see, we do not see the red section anymore, only the white section, the first block that we added. So we'll get that checked, and I'm going to mark this as green, that this is also going to be done. Image alt tags cannot be applied to background images, and this is correct. The search engines don't need to see alt tags from the background images. This is only working for image elements. And then, is the SEO scoring counting background image alt tags as well? It is not. So let me just demonstrate it one more time so that we can see. Let's say that this is the image we're going to use as a control here. When you go into SEO score, we can see that alt tags, they're reporting 24 image tags without alt attributes. If I change this one, I will change the image. Actually, I don't have to. If I just say logo, if I click update and apply it, and if I move back to the SEO, I can see 23 image tags. So it's basically only counting the image elements in here. And that's done as well. So as you can see, we saw your reports. We fixed a couple of them already. We are looking into many more that you guys reported, and some of the ideas that you mentioned as well. We're going to get them implemented. So yeah, that is basically a summary of this discussion of 170 different posts. And now I'm going to be going into the live comments and then starting to answer the questions from there. I just wanted to finish my own thing before. All right. I'm going to keep this Q&A specifically to GroovePages 2.0. So in case you had asked for affiliate program or something else, I'm not going to be answering those questions today. I just want a video fully for GroovePages 2.0. All right, a lot of people are watching in here, are already in the middle of the night. How can you delete a save block in 2.0? That's, I believe, a thing that we didn't add on yet. The menu options for the blocks. This is something that we will be adding. We will have little 3 dots showing in the top, so that you can either rename your blocks or that you can delete them and things like that. So we want to add on a menu for editing, the like renaming or deleting and things like that. So this is something that I'm going to just mark here on my note. So deleting saved blocks, just so that I get this added into the discussion with our devs. But this was already talked about. Let's just move back and see in here. I'm just reading the comments. David, I've been blown away with these changes and loving every minute of it. Thank you very much, Jody. As you can see, we released a lot of things. A lot of things are working nicely. There's many things that we still need to improve, but some of the things that we shown even on the Groovathon and on the test servers were working, and then now it's not working once we release it on the live servers. So this is why we need to do all of this kind of user feedback suggestions, and then we go back and implement it, because not everything is working the same on the test servers. So we understand that, and this is why I wanted to kind of have this discussion feedback demo with you guys here. I've started a new page with a blank canvas, and when I open, I have to click on blocks to access on my previous work. Access my previous work. Also, I have to save every 5 minutes because it crashes and gives snap error. Ronald, this is something that I mentioned earlier. This snap, we looked into it, and there's nothing that was changed on our end in terms of something that can cause this one. Like, we didn't change anything. So we looked into it, and our dev said that this is most probably coming from Chrome, because also I have experienced it. For me, Facebook is crashing very, very frequently with the same snap, something went wrong, and also YouTube crashed. So it may be because it's resource intensive or something when you're dragging and dropping and things like that. We are trying to make our platform less heavy, and hopefully this is going to help, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that one. The element box blocks too much on the left side of the page. Can you see where you're putting it on the page? That was changed, Rob. Hopefully you saw my demo. Mega menu isn't working used as a global block. Yes, I think I missed that one. I saw it as a feedback. We'll double check that one. In our test servers, I was testing this one and there was no issue. So we'll need to look what's the difference. Isn't working on global blocks. Okie dokie. I'm just typing on the notes for myself. Do we still use containers? Yes, containers aren't changed. They are the same as they were. Can you make the text on the left sidebar white? It's hard to read. I believe this may be related to not the menu, but maybe the blocks library. Yeah, we can look into making it white. I'll double check with the team. Let me just mark that one as well. Make text white in the global, in the blocks library. Okay, I love the new layout, says Adam. I love it as well. It's much faster to work with. For example, the settings are my favorites now. Previously, you had to go to pages, find the page, click the three dots, then go to settings, then start typing. Now it's just literally one click. Are there going to be new tutorial videos for 2.0? Yes, definitely. I was waiting for this release of 2.0 in order to start creating new demo materials and everything, because we changed a lot of things, we added a lot of options, and I wanted to create training with that one. So definitely I'm going to start making the trainings now when these fixes can come in. I tried using the countdown timer and couldn't change the size. It let me change the color on one of them, but I couldn't get to the others. We have added a functionality for changing all the countdown timer elements, or how do I say it? Let's just use this yellow one so that you can easily see it. So when you click on the countdown timer element, you basically set it up here. But once you go into editing one of these options, there is a little toolbar that shows up, applying styling to all countdown elements. So if you click this one, and if you edit the text, maybe edit the text size, it's actually making it bigger. So for example, I will select this container and then apply the styling for every one of these, and I will just make this bigger, make it 100, 100. So I'm styling all of them at once. So anything that you change here, so for example, I'm styling these colors, or I'll style the color of the text here. So I'm just going to here and maybe put it red. Because this toggle switch is on, I can apply styling to all the elements, all of the countdown blocks at the same time. So this should help you basically apply styling on all of them so that you save time. If you want to style it specifically, like I want to click on this one and then make it blue, you can still, but you just need to toggle this one off. So this should help you manage the countdown timers easily. Can you make the element preview larger? Some of them are so tiny you can't even see it. At this moment, the elements that we preview are buttons, and I believe we show them in one button in a row. So I don't think that needs to be larger. If you have something more specific that you are that you thought of, please let me know. Thanks for this Q&A. The new upgrades into the UI and functionality are awesome, well thought out. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Will the animations of the set elements also be saved when saving an element? No, this is an you will be able to use the style, the global style. So global styles on here are going to be saving the styling. The saving of the element is going to save basically the colors, the size, how it looks like. Not each and every one of these options are going to get saved. So you can save the global style, and that's going to save the animations and things like that. All right. When will the ClickUp type blocks be added? This is now added. Adventures with the cons, it's added. This is called the tab element. So you can start using it as soon as we add the plus button for adding in blocks in there. Good, because right now you can drag and drop text, which I use all the time, versus creating the new text element and having to redo the text settings. You can drag and drop text even now. Is there split testing available? No, that's not yet available. An unlock feature here on the global blocks per page would be good option. Unlock feature on the global blocks per page. Gary, I'm not quite sure I follow. What do you mean by unlock? What would that do? Unlock what? Do you mean So when you have it on canvas, you click unlock and then you can start editing. I think that it's better if it is in a specific area like what we have currently, because we want to minimize as much as possible users going in and adding in or mixing the content up by mistake. And that's literally what we did with the edit, the global block option. So I think we have that. Except the font for global blocks does not seem to be saving. We'll double check why the font on the global blocks is not saving. Can one export a global block to use on other site? You cannot export it, but you can clone it to other sites. Yes. Do you need to republish the site? Yes. Every time you do something with global blocks, you need to republish the site. I feel it is better to indicate global block different in breadcrumbs to indicate it as a global block. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we could do that one when you click on it, so that the breadcrumbs indicate global blocks in the breadcrumbs as block. All right, that's a good suggestions. Whatever happened to the agency plan? Is that going to be released this year? We are still working on that one. We have the breakdown of the pricing and everything. There will be more information the closer we come to that. Every time I try to add a global block, it crashes the site. Also, when I'm editing a page, I have to save every 5 minutes because it crashes every 15 to 20 minutes since the update. Ronald, try to open an incognito window where you do not have any Chrome extension, and make sure that you have the most up-to-date Chrome. As you saw, I was working with global blocks, and there was no issue on there. So this is the thing that I mentioned, that it happens randomly, and it happens often in GroovePages because it is the most canvas heavy, resource heavy app that we have currently. So we'll just need to find a cause for that one. At this moment, we do not know what may cause it. Even if it is from us, we'll try to fix it, but at this moment we cannot figure it out. The button doesn't seem to have a configure option. How do you change the text? The buttons have configuration options. You just need to click on the little cogwheel. Sorry about that. I moved the wrong tab. So whenever you have a button, you have this little cogwheel. The configuration from up here was moved, but we are going to be bringing it back there as well, because some people got used to it so much that it's kind of hard to kind of change the way that you were working with the app. We understand that, and we'll get it back there as well. I forgot one option. This is disable immediate opening of style panel on element click. For the people that are new with GroovePages and that are using mostly the designed templates, you may want to just kind of work on here. Like, you want to change the text, you want to change the text color, and that's it. Then you can turn this on, and then next time when you click on something, you can just work through these options in here, because many times we put here the configuration, we put here everything that you may need in order to kind of modify a template. So same for the text, same for the icon, same for the basically everything. You want to change an icon, just change it from here. You want to change the text of an icon, change it from here. And things like that. So I believe if you are working with templates, you do not necessarily need all of those designer options in the style editor. So this kind of focused mode is good for a lot of our users. But in case you still want to kind of add an animation, for example, you can click on these 3 dots and it will open up all of the options. Mike mentioned why don't we change the 3 dots and put in maybe this paintbrush icon or something like that for editing. I think that 3 dots represent more, and this is what we give you here. we give you some basic options, but we give you more when you open it up. So this is the 3 dots. They will open the style editor so that you can do even more with this specific element. So that's the thinking behind that. So one more time, this disable immediate opening of style panel is very useful for those of you guys who are working with templates and then want to focus on it, and then maybe change images, change the text, change the colors of buttons and the button links. And you can do all of that now from the canvas. All right, let's move on to the next questions in here. All right. I'm just skipping a lot of our questions because they are not relevant to our presentation today. If we add metadata already, then will Dublin core metadata be duplicated if it's different? If you added something in the code manually and we add it through the Dublin core metadata, then most probably it's going to be duplicated. I do not know if that's good or bad, but I do not think that you just need to add that information in yourself if we already added in. So maybe you can just get rid of what you already added manually. Would like to see expanded site styling in the future, fonts, colors, and themes to choose from. Yes, that's going to come. We have plans for themes to preset your fonts, preset your colors, preset your sizes, H1, H2, and things like that. What we did for GrooveCart, that's also going to be coming for GroovePages in the future. Can you guys add a bulk delete option in the GroovePages dashboard? I believe we could. I just don't think that this is smart. We will, instead of delete, we will have an archive option. That's something that we are talking about already, because delete is literally you delete it and there's no coming back. Archive, it will mean that you do not have it near the active sites, but you will be able to get them back in the, I don't know, in a certain period of time, like 30 days, 60 days, whatever we go with. But at this moment, bulk delete option is I'm not sure if this was talked about. I'm going to make sure we have it. Bulk delete option for the GroovePages site dashboard. This could be something that we add. In pop-ups, are they working again when connected directly to a form? A month ago or so, that feature stopped working and we had to paste the form code into the area. I'll double check with the team. I know that they were doing some fixes. I'll definitely look into it. Can you add a select all option for the spacing instead of having to do one by one, the way Webflow does it? Now this is really nitpicking it. Like, we do not need to do everything like how others do it, but we can check for sure. All right. Can a global block contain more than one block? Yes, they can. Currently, for some reason, we are only showing one. We'll definitely look into this one with the team. Let's see, maybe they. All right. Yeah. What happened to the beefree integrations? The beefree integration, this is for the grab and go templates that Mike talked about. This is something that that we will have, but at this moment we didn't implement it yet. We are focusing on our builder currently. How will pages and funnels built on GroovePages 1.0 change with GroovePages 2.0? There's no changes like in the code. Everything is staying the same. It's just that the options for editing the pages are now, we added more options there. I tried to add a link to the logo at the top of the page on my different page to go to the home page, but when I select it to link to a page and select the home page, it removes the image. I don't really understand this. Let me just try and duplicate the issue. Most of the times when something like this happens, it's best if you record a short video of what is happening, because we may not be able to replicate it every time like you are doing it. So what you are saying, that you are adding in a link to a page, for example, let's just add a URL. All right, to this image, and then we click update, and then it is giving me, so here I'm looking here below, so in this corner at the lower left, it shows me the groove.cm, so the link is working. Hannes, if you are still having this issue, please record a short Loom video and reach out to our support team, or just report it in the feedback portal. We'll look into it, but at this moment I was not able to replicate this, so please, if you could just let us know. I was wondering why I couldn't add blocks to tabs. What is the new path to blocks other than global blocks? Jim, I mentioned it already. So you just select a block on the actual canvas. So you just click somewhere out where there is not much content, and then here you will see a plus button on the top and on the bottom. This is how you start adding blocks on canvas. When you have a blank page, I'm just going to show you real quick with the blank page. It's going to show you this one so that you can start adding blocks from here. All right. Well, once you add a block, let's just add this blue one, and then you click it. You click somewhere in this blue section and you select the block. You will see the two plus buttons on the top and the bottom, so that you can add a block above and or a block below this section. All right. Let's move back. All right. I see someone is trying real hard. Nude HD, some user is using our live stream for spamming, but thank you very much. That means a lot. Let me see where I stopped. All right, there's so much chit chat going on. I'm scrolling. All right. Is there a way to expand GrooveSell checkout width? That's not relevant to our presentation currently. Can you show how to do a refresh? A refresh, just on the top, just a reload button in your browser. I see that now we can apply color grading to blocks. Great addition. Can we have this some functionality for containers to other elements? Let me see in here. So we have the, when you select the block, you go to background, we have the colors here, but we do not have yet the option to do gradients. We have an option to select a color from grid or from the spectrum. There will be another option here, maybe a toggle switch somewhere in the future, where you say select or turn on gradient mode or something like that, and then that will allow us to add a gradient. We do not have option to add a gradient currently with our color picker. With the custom attributes here for custom CSS, you can add on to the background, you can add gradients. That can be done through custom CSS, but not through our color picker currently. When will the option to add folders to the main GroovePages site list, and also an option to get the link from the site listing versus going to the publish to get the link to the site? Yes, so we will have the folders so that you can put in like a root domain / I don't know, Groove promotion, and then you basically do your promotion for Groove. Then you have root domain / I don't know, Canva promotion, and then you promote Canva there. So basically you create folders, and then you have many pages for that one promotion. That's going to be coming. I do not have an ETA, but that's definitely on our to-do list. A link for a site listing. Yes, so we will have also, this is something that we could very easily do. I will try and get the guys to do that once the 2.0 fixes are done. So over here, we want to change this preview to something like what we have with GrooveMember, or I don't know, I believe GrooveSell did it as well. So let me just show you. In GrooveMember, we have this. When you hover over it, you can get links, you can edit it, you can go into settings, and this type of menu we want to add into our sites and GroovePages as well. And this is something that I want to work on. So we'll still have the options to kind of clone and delete and things like that. But these quick links, the quick access options, to basically get a link for the site, or maybe website URL, or kind of immediately open it, we'll be able to add that in for GroovePages. Currently, the team has worked on different priorities, and this was not on the top. So, but we will make sure that every app that has any kind of cards looks like this. All right. On navbars, is there a function to appear on mouse scroll up? No, not yet. If you would like that, you can request it in our feedback portal. Have you looked into the mobile drop-down menu is not working when used inside the global block? We will, Sebastian. We will. I saw your messages, and the team has already been working on your feedback there. Will you be doing a demo on how to build a form from scratch using GroovePages 2.0? Yes, definitely. I plan to do a lot of GroovePages training once we have this this all set up. At this moment, it is very new, so at this moment you will not see me doing a training until these feedback points are done, because the demo wouldn't look good. But definitely once this is done, once we worked with the team on ironing these out, then I'm going to start with the training and courses. This is something that I wanted to do for a long time, but this is the time to do it. I'm also thinking to do another imperfect action challenge for this year, similar to what we did previously, but now with the new options that we have. We didn't have GrooveMail back then active for everybody. We didn't have the new GrooveMember. We didn't have all of that stuff. So it is going to be more powerful, much better, and I think more people will appreciate it. Absolutely love GroovePages 2.0. Thank you very much, Patrick. I love it too. I will love it even more once these kind of small issues are fixed. But this is why I appreciate all of you guys helping us find these little things that we may have not even thought about. That's why I'm actually spending the time now to look into each and every one of these issues to kind of make sure we mark it out. All right. Nice presentation. Love the updates. You and the team are doing an awesome job. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the fixes and polish of the editor. I've been using GroovePages since 2019, and it has worked well and been very stable. There was times where it was not very stable, and we know that. And when you develop a product, it has its ups and downs, especially software. A lot of things can go wrong, but a lot of things can go good as well. People that use the page builder for making money are seeing how useful these options are. Some people just like to be creative with it and not kind of use it for the intended purposes, and in certain cases those are less satisfied. But I'm very happy that we are helping a lot of people getting their businesses up and running fast. Not sure if this was covered. How can I change the font of the entire site by simply changing the font in the site settings? Well, that was the question with an answer as well, by simply changing the font in the site settings. So what you do is you go into the site settings. So open the settings, site settings, styling, select the font, okay, apply it and save. All right. And then once you go into the fonts over here, you just need to make sure that you apply the actual parent default. The parent default is basically that you're using the font which is managed from somewhere else on basically wherever you set this parent default on. So let's just see in here. Also, this is the weight. So the font, make sure that you change the font parent default here as well. Text, font, parent default. And then the font's styles will change wherever you set it up. So here as well on the countdown timer, text, font, parent default, and it will change in a couple of moments. So yeah, that's basically it. Okay, this one didn't change. Okay, changing it like this changes it, but it doesn't change it with the parent default. This is something I will mark down. Changing the font on account. Selected. I'll just double check this with the devs if everything, all the settings are set up correctly. All right. Yeah, let me just go back to the comments. There's many comments in here. When you click on an element, the toolbar on the top of the element shows blank, but it's clickable. In certain cases, and this is something that I had a discussion about with the team members today. In certain cases, this color in the middle is transparent. Let me show you what I mean by it. So when you set it up to be transparent, like this, just okay, I change it. Okay, the exact color visibility is 100. You see, there is no color, but it is still clickable. I just need to refresh my builder. It just got stuck. But whenever it is not showing a color, that means that the transparency is set to 100. All right, but it is still clickable because the transparency is on. So you can see it here. If I put it to 100 transparent, what I asked the dev team to put this checked box if the transparency is on, so that it doesn't look like there is a setting missing, and then we will implement this one. So a lot of these little things, little improvements are still coming. We really want to kind of crank all of these out within the next week or two, to create the best possible solution for everyone. All right, let's see. How do you preview a website or a page after editing? How can others view the website before you actually publish it? Or does it have to be published first? You can do a preview just by clicking on the eye icon in the top right when you are editing a page, but you can not share it out to others before it's made live. Once you publish it out on a page, you can share the link with others to see it, but not before publishing it. You could create a screenshot and share the screenshot with somebody before publishing it. All right. Okay, sorry, I'm just going through the questions. I don't want to go into discussion. There were people chatting between each other. I want to skip those. Will there be an option to be able to move external links in nav menu so that we can place them where we want? External links in nav menu. You can actually do this already right now, but you have to use a different method. So it's not directly with external links like what we have here. I'm sorry. So it's not directly with external links, but let me show you a way that we are doing it in Groove. So you create a page, just a blank template, and you go into the settings. You give it a name and a URL. So for example, external redirect, right? And then you give it the name, right? And then once you're done with this one, you can go into redirection, enable page redirection, you turn it on, and then you set up where you want to redirect it to. You say https groove.cm. All right, once you have this one, you click the check button. It says the builder content won't be visible online because this page will be redirected. Once this is done, make sure you save. And if you go back to the home page, this is a page, but it's actually a redirect. So it will show up in the navigation, you see? So now if you want, you can position it wherever you want, because this is now an external redirect and you can click on it from wherever you want. So this is a method that you could use. And then it's not directly with the navigation menu, but it's still achieving the same outcome. So hopefully that helps. All right. Is there share code where we can share a whole site with someone else? Yes, there is. That's in the settings. Let's see. When you duplicate the text, it reverts back to the original setting and not keep the custom setting. We'll look into this one. Let me just double check real quick. Where is it? Here. So again, it may be a different situation what you see on your end, but this is why we ask people to reach out to support, because we need to look into their settings, we need to look into their site, we need to look into their circumstances. We do not know why you could have that issue. As you see, I'm duplicating now text and it is not giving me a different setting. So please reach out to our support team. They could look into this one for you. Does GroovePages have an option such as parallax? Yes, parallax is available in the background settings. Whenever you click on a block, you can go into the background settings of for example, set up an image. Let's just select this soup, and then here you will see parallax. That means that the image will be stuck into the background, and wherever you scrolling, the image will be kind of sticky. Everything else will be moving. So the parallax is already there. Moving on. Hopefully this will be faster. All right. Many more questions. All right. Let's see. Is there a character limit in the metadata and Dublin Core? We do not have a character limit at this moment. Some containers show flex, but don't show layout options like space between, for example, tabs and header. If you could just report that in the feedback portal so that we can look into this one. I would not want to check now each and every element that we have or container. Does new update apply to GrooveSell checkout as well? I tried and add another bump to my checkout and didn't fit within the parameters of the checkout. No, this is directly for GroovePages. For GrooveSell, just look into it with the support. They will look into what you are trying to achieve, and then they will offer you the best solution. At this moment, this is purely GroovePages, not GrooveSell. Global blocks are global per site, not inside all of GroovePages, so I can't use them outside or another site. You can just clone them over. But my saved blocks are available in all of GroovePages. Yes, but they are not on the canvas. Global blocks are tricky because they are on the canvas, and we want to, and you basically are changing them from one place. So it makes sense that they are only in that one site. The saved blocks are basically available templates that you can use. Like every template is available when you click a plus button, but a global block is something that you configured, that you connected, that you basically set up for one site. If you want, you could clone them over to another site, but it's not going to change with changing one of those sites only. Can an existing block be newly designed as a global block? Yes. Basically, global blocks, when you create it, you just get an area where you can add your blocks. Let me just really quick show you. So global blocks is basically this one. You create it and you get an area where you start adding your content. When you click this plus button, you get your design block. So you can create any of the designed or saved blocks as a global block. So there's no need to kind of start from scratch. You can also start from scratch. You can start from the empty wireframe blocks, like here, and then you can design a global block yourself. But you could also use a pre-existing design block. The counter, it let me drag one, but I could not size it. Then I changed one box, but could not change the rest to match. Mila, try to do what I showed you earlier. It's going to, if you see something different, then reach out to our support team. But what I showed you should apply for every other account. Can multi-step form be built in GroovePages? No, that is something that we're building into GrooveMail forms. What's the difference between the custom domain versus subdomain? Which one is better, and when is it good to use which one? I'm new to Groove. Thank you. Natalie, a subdomain is something that we give everybody for free. Like, for example, natalieng.groovepages.com would be your subdomain, and you publish all of your pages there. It does not look really professional if you want to use it for selling something. So what the custom domain is, that means that you buy a domain, which would be natalieng.com, for example, which is more professional. So if you're selling with natalieng.com, it is going to be more professional. You can brand it, you can send people there. It's very easily remembered, instead of natalieng.groovepages.com. It is basically, that's the difference. So you use the subdomain until you kind of setting things up, you're testing, you're tweaking, you're designing. But once you're kind of ready to go live, then get a custom domain connected instead of the subdomain, and then you are going to be good. All right, David, I just discovered that the tablet device works fabulous on new pages, just not on my old pages. Maybe I need to rebuild those older pages. Jody, I really do not know what would be the issue with the older pages, but let the support know. They will be looking into it. Do you know when could we be able to create image folders to have a better work order? Mike talked about that in the Groovathon on what is going to be done with the image library, but I do not have an ETA on that one. At this moment, we are finishing up the work on this GroovePages 2.0, and we may tackle it afterwards. But at this moment, I wouldn't be able to give you an estimate. All right, let's see. All right, I love the changes, but with this migration, my site page layout for the various responsive views except desktop got scrambled. Is there a fix for this? Rebuilding site pages, tweaking, very time consuming. I went live with this site 2 weeks ago. I need a quick solution. Jackie, reach out to our support team. Again, I wouldn't be able to look into what may have been causing that one or something like that. Just to support, please reach out to support. Everything that is user specific on my account, I see this and this, please reach out to support, because we would need to investigate. Okay, mega menus, please go through mega menus. I will not do that right now. There is a training on that one. It's basically like creating a pop-up and that's it. It's literally like designing a pop-up. There is nothing different in that. So that should be helping you. Is it possible to delete or hide a block or image in mobile view but not on others? Yes. The thing what you need to do is clone the block and hide one on mobile and show on others, and then the other one hide on others and show on mobile. So that's the way you manage it. We'll make this easier in the future, where we just have one setting like hide here, and then that's going to apply for the whole block. So there's no need to clone it in the future. Are there plans to bring global elements in addition to global blocks? At this moment, there aren't, but that may be something for the future. Hippo Video says they integrated with Groove, but I still don't see it as an integrated option in Groove. Please advise. I don't know if they integrated with us. I believe they just do it with the embed option. You can embed a Hippo Video like Groove Video. You can embed that everywhere. So it's basically integrated already. When will we be able to add our own fonts without adding it through CSS? That's something that we are planning for the somewhere where we do themes. As I mentioned earlier, you'll be able to set up your own fonts for heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and things like that. At this moment, there is no ETA, but this is on our roadmap. Most probably next year. We're approaching the end of this year, but most probably next year. Also, just huge thanks to you and all of the devs. Thank you very much. Also, Sebastian, you were you're very useful for reporting the issues early on, and we already tackled many of them. We're looking into the rest that you mentioned. So thank you. On pop-ups, can you please add a way to hide the close icon button and only be able to close the pop-up by a link button only, not with the close icon pop-up? Edwin, that's a good feature. Please add it in the feature request portal. At this moment, we do have a lot of things, but we manage the request there. So that would be very useful if you add it there. Thanks for the way you train. You fully explain and show everything and not expect your viewers are experts. I've learned so much since 2020. Thank you very much, Gary. I have seen you very often on our training, so it's good that you are learning. Many of the users just go out there, try to use it. They get mad because they do not know how to use it, but they never actually see any of our training. So you are already a step closer to becoming a Groove expert designer. I'm happy because Groove grows its strength and its the best marketing and sales platform. Thank you very much, Eduardo. Regarding an earlier question, can you make it so font is automatically set to parent default for new elements when they are created? The whole point of global font is so that you don't have to touch every element. Yeah, that is how it is done. When you add an element, when you add a new element to the page, they are in parent default. In this case, what I was showing you, this is a template that was specifically designed with these parameters. For example, we did this. For example, this font is different than this font. Our new templates are designed with parent default already applied, but at this moment, I believe this template was one of our earlier ones. So whenever you are selecting a new template, new by meaning everything after we added this parent default functionality, we are going to be able to add to manage it with this parent default settings. In certain cases, when there is two fonts, like for example here and here, you see that this was specifically done by the designers to have a different font. Let's see. Okay, let me just save and reload. Okay, I didn't add my new page. Not sure why. We'll double check this one, why it is not saving something that you added. But here, so I have, you see, a font is parent default for everything that is not kind of specifically specified. Yes, I forgot a very important thing. There is a button here with two things. So this is a label and a sub-label. When you have two items on a button, that means that there is a sub-label. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, which I should have, which is important. Uh, Buttons with sub-labels have been changed. So whenever you are managing them right now, you double-click the sub-label in order to start editing it. For when you click now anywhere, you really just select the button. If you want to edit the main label or the sub label, you start editing it by double clicking on it. So I can now manage the sub label over here because I double clicked it. I will double click this one, and then I can manage now the top label, as you see. So this is now working with a double click. Previously, when you just clicked in the middle of the button, it actually selected one of these labels, and it was not really good. So now when you click on it, double click on it is going to select the button main label or the sub label on which you click on. So I should have mentioned that one much earlier in the demo, but I forgot. There's so much things. All right. George is asking, will there be a function to organize all of the created website project? Yes, for example, organized by folders. Also, will different size views of all websites projects. Also, will different size view of all website project. We will be having a brand project management. This was also mentioned in one of our previous State of the Groovians, that this is something that is being planned. It's also on the roadmap. Every domain that you add into Groove will have its own assets, meaning a blog, a website, a membership if you want, a store, and things like that. All of these will be kind of under one brand, under one domain. So at one domain will be a project, and then websites and things like that will be all under that brand project. So this is going to be the categorization. You'll be able to see your domains, and according to this, we will be categorizing them. At this moment, we do not do that, and we will not do anything else with the categorization of the site until this brand projects, because this is a really a huge task, and we do not want to kind of do something twice. You have mentioned in the past you will look into being able to do an actual 301 and 302 redirect instead of meta refresh. Is this still coming? This is important for SEO. Yes, that's going to be coming in the future. How do you get people's question to show up on the screen so fast while you're doing this live? Are you using Stream Deck or copy paste using specific software? I'm using for me. Eduardo, I'm using StreamYard. Any platform that actually uses that does this streaming can show questions on screen like this. So Melon, StreamYard, Restream, Stream Live or One Live. What else? GrooveStream will be able to do that one as well once it is out. So yeah, that's a cool technology. All right. I'm just looking through the questions that I didn't answer. Can you reveal any upcoming major integrations with GroovePages? We do not have any major integrations with GroovePages. GroovePages and the other apps will all be integrated with the same integrations. We are working on a one integrations platform, which is going to be GrooveMail. GrooveMail will have all of the integrations that we do. So when we add Pabbly and Integrately and Zapier and other ones, basically like what we have currently, Send.io and GetResponse and Aweber and ActiveCampaign, all of these will be accessible within the same platform. And GrooveMail is going to be having this activity log, which is going to be the brains of Groove, and all of that is going to be directly integrated with all of the apps. So it's not going to be directly with GroovePages, but at this moment, any major integrations, I would say the first one that we'll definitely do is Lulu. Lulu is a fulfillment platform. Like somebody signs up for your webinar and you maybe want to deliver them a printed ebook or something like that, you'll be able to do that. Or maybe somebody buys a product through GrooveSell and then you fulfill it through Lulu. That's something that's going to be integrated. And also Zapier has already been done, but probably integrated, and the other ones will be integrated on a level that we do not have yet. Currently, you already can use them through webhooks for Groove Video, GroovePages, Groove Webinar, GrooveSell, and I believe Groove Cart, but it's not a direct integration, it's webhooks. So yeah. All right, can we have login option to GroovePages site like a membership so that only members have access to the site? I don't think we need that because we already have Groove members. So if you want to lock something, you can just add that in Groove in a membership page. So I don't see the need for that one really. We because of that, because we want to lock content, that's why we created a full-on platform for that. And this is a Groove member. Not exactly a question, but GroovePages in general, do you already know something on making the video backgrounds covering the whole block? Yes, that is actually working. So let's see, here is the block. If we select a video for the background, let's see, I want to select a YouTube video. Let's just select this one. Update video. Maybe I need to save, hold on. Maybe I need to just select my own video first. Not sure why this isn't showing. I'll need to double check. Let me just double check on a different site, or maybe I have to refresh. Let's try here. Background video, use video background. Here we go. Okay, so this one is much taller than the issue was previously that the mobile phones were not sizing properly for Groove Video. Let's see if that has been changed. I know that we were working on a fix for that one. Of course, when there is a lot more content, we would probably need to zoom in. Not sure if that's the right thing to do. But yeah, we were working on that functionality. Let me just double check with the team on did that got reverted back. But there was a functionality where it kind of zoomed into the video and let's see. And then we had a full height option. Maybe we just need to kind of manage the sizing to be height 100% full width. Not quite sure. I'll need to double check. I messed up this page by duplicating a lot of things, and there's all sorts of different stuff in here, which may be causing this issue. But still, the background should be tall as the content. But I'll have a look. All right. All right. So global blocks appear on all pages like footer. We can use global blocks for terms and conditions. That's correct. And when will all these be live? So Natalie, that's correct. You just need to create one global block, add them to the pages, and then when you change something in the future, you just need to change it on that one place. This is already live. There are some of the tweaks that we still need to do, that some of the guys mentioned, but this is already live. All right, so now we're actually going into feature request mode with you guys. I'm going to ask everyone to give their new suggestions for the future in our feedback portal. I see like great ideas and things like that, but this is not something that I want to address. Yes, we'll have that. No, we'll not have that. Yes, we'll have that. Yes, we'll have that. So if you have an idea that you would like to see, just add them into the feature request portal. If it's not there yet, just search for it. If you don't find it, add it there. But at this moment, I think we mentioned all of the things that we needed for the version 2 of GroovePages. I skipped a lot of questions and a lot of comments that were not related to our session today, so I do apologize. But at this moment, I have given you all of my answers that I had currently. As I mentioned, we are working on a lot of improvements, and some of the things that you pointed out to today, we'll get these done within the next week and two. And hopefully from now on we can use this new builder without any kind of issues and delays, and build our businesses on it. So thank you very much for being here today. See you again on the next Q&A. Next Q&A will be full Q&A, so that I'm going to answer all sorts of questions next Wednesday at the same time, same place. So see you there, guys. Bye for now.